Hi fellow gardeners, welcome to Garden with Jenny. I'm Jenny. Today is going to be a special, unique kind of video. I'm showing you my indoor houseplants that I have to keep in my basement because my cat is a holy terror and she will eat them, ruin them, knock them over, and all that jazz. So you'll have to excuse the bits of clutter because I'm right by my sump pump and we have it jerry-rigged. And I've got quite a bit of plants down here, but I wanted to show you them because there's something that I really enjoy taking care of, and I realize you're probably looking at my peace lily right now and you're like, what the heck, Jenny, it's wilting. I realize this, I just watered it. So let's dive in. First I want to show you my orchids. So the temperature down here is, hang on a second, I'm looking, it is 68 degrees down here. I have fluorescent tube lights that I have on all the time down here because, well, I'm too lazy to turn them off, and they just work really well for my orchids and stuff. So I have my orchids sitting on top of a frisbee, on top of some fluorescent tube lights, because I didn't want the lights too far away from my orchids. Look at these roots, they're crazy. Crazy roots. Okay, so basically with orchids, mine are all in moss. They're all in orchid moss. So, sphagnum moss. So, and you can see there's a root peeking out the bottom down here. See it? Right there? Woohoo! So yeah, I gotta get that guy transplanted again. It's about time. It's been like 6 months or so since I transplanted him last. At least. It's been at least 6 months. So he could use a new transplant. You should do them at least once a year. But twice a year for me because it's so damp down here that the moss really starts to decompose rather quickly. And you don't want them sitting in decomposing moss because it holds moisture longer, and the orchid really needs to, the moss needs to go dry in between waterings. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a tip here. So see these right here, these are all my orchid roots, and obviously you can tell it's still wet because there's water droplets along, there's condensation along the edge. But what'll happen is when you water, the roots will turn this lime green color. If you can see that, if it'll focus, but it's not like focusing very well, sorry. Then you're gonna let it go dry to the point where they turn silver, like these roots up here. These will turn silver, and the moss will be crunchy. Right now, you can't hear me touching it, but if it was dry, you would hear the crunch when I touched it, and that means that it's ready to go. But clearly, they're not. That one's not ready to be watered. That one's not ready, and this guy over here, he's still got some green in there on his root system. I can see in that little pocket there, there's still a little bit of green. So I'm going to let him go. And you can hear, I don't know if you can hear that, if it picks it up, but there's a little bit of a crunch to it still. So those are not ready to be watered. Yeah. Pretty in love with my orchids. They're doing actually pretty well for me. This is my Azalea. I have pictures posted on Facebook, but none of you guys are probably friends with me on Facebook. But this has a pink and white flower, one of flowers, and it flowered already. It flowered a couple months ago. I want to say at least 2 months ago now. It was just really a nice color, pink with white. This is my Croton, and I let it sit too dry the one day, and it defoliated. That's why there's like no leaves here. You can see all the I think those are called leaf scales. I don't remember what they're called anymore. It's been so long since I took bio. But this is where the petiole of the leaf was. See, if I pulled this leaf off, you would see this like scab. So it defoliated on me, and that's my own fault because I let it sit too dry. Because if you let a Croton sit wet, it isn't happy either. So, and because it's damp in my basement, I was trying to do the right thing and I let it sit a little too long. So that was my mistake, but it is what it is. This here is my golden pothos. I love my golden pothos. It does have some water spots on some of the leaves. This guy lets it dry. You can see his tip's starting to yellow. Well, that's kind of a bad, you can't really tell that well, but you can see the tips of the leaves started to brown a little bit. If this will focus on the leaf, which it's of course not going to. The tips of the leaves started to brown a little bit, which means it sat dry. And it also sat wet on me because it's so damp down here. That's why I have this irregular black and yellow edge. So, that's my own fault. You know, I can't blame anybody else but myself for that. But it's a little bit tougher down here because of the dampness from our basement. Whenever it rains, we get water in our basement. Not like a lot, but it's enough to make it humid down here and moist. And then being that it's cool, stuff doesn't dry out as fast as it should. So that's why some of my stuff is wilting now, because I'm trying to keep them regular. But like as you can see, it started on this peace lily. See how the tip's brown? That means it sat dry. And it's obviously wilting, so it definitely sat dry too long. But I went back to work. I'm doing landscaping with my friend Kat, with Designs by Kat, and I've been neglecting my plants, I'm not gonna lie. This guy is the Marble Queen Pothos. So it's got a smaller leaf than the golden pothos, and it's a white instead of the yellow. I like both varieties. He's getting a little leggy. I've already cut him back once. You can't, actually I can't even find where I cut him back anymore. But I did, I cut him back and through, I was gonna try and root the stems and they wouldn't stay in the pot, so they got tossed. But I can't even find the spot where I cut him from. Oh, right here, here's my cut. Sorry about the electrical cords in the background, but, so this is where I made my cut, and then this is the new side shoot that came out. I probably should have done a harsher cut on him because he's getting leggy again. And that has to do with my lighting situation down here too, you know, like it's not an ideal situation by any means. So, well, that looks so much nicer now. Now it's bright. So, you know, I've been having a little bit of issues just because I'm in the basement, but that's to be expected. This down here is my tropical hibiscus. It's a pink and yellow Hawaiian looking hibiscus. That one I need to get outside because it's getting leggy down here. And it really should be outside, but I've just been busy and I haven't taken it outside yet. I probably should do that, but it's probably not going to happen. I'm just being honest. But this I got from my old boss when I worked at the nursery. I fractured my ankle last summer. And I was out of work for 2 months, so she sent me this as like a get well present, which was really, really thoughtful of Luann, and I really appreciate that. She was really great to me during that time, very understanding about my accident and stuff. I was playing basketball and I fractured my ankle, and she was really good to me, so she sent me this in that pot that's down there. It's blue and green, and I like it and stuff. So then over here, I've got some snake plants, pregnant onion that I got from my friend Jen, and pregnant onion just does not like it down here. I don't know what I'm doing wrong with it. It hates me. It is what it is. This guy, I think, is called a Streptocarpella. I think it grows like these little purple trumpet-shaped flowers. It's super pretty. I cut him back once already because he was like massive and he needs to be cut back again. Look at how leggy he is. So like that top growth, all this right here that I'm showing you, will probably get cut back to push out new stuff below. He needs to be watered. I gotta water him. This is my African violet. I trimmed some of the outer leaves, and just looking right now for any suckers, which I don't see any growing yet, so that's always a good thing. It needs to be repotted, I think. Maybe not yet. I don't know. This is my second African violet. You can see the pot down there. See it right there. That was the other one that I bought. I liked that one a lot. It was pink with purple polka dots, and it dried out because I didn't realize. I don't know when it dried out. I don't know if I was gone and I came back and it was dried out, or if I dried it out. I don't know. But that one didn't make it. It wasn't that nice of a plant like this one. Like, this leaf got to come out, and this leaf I'm probably gonna pick off, and then it'll be a really nice rosette. But yeah. And I'm rooting some succulents, and you can see they're pretty leggy. That's because they're not close enough to my light source, but I don't have a choice. It is what it is. To be honest, I can't, there's nothing else I can really do about that. This is my jade. I got this. It was a piece that dropped off of a customer's, and I have fly tape. Nice, right? It was a piece of jade that fell off a customer's plant, so I picked it up and I rooted it, and here it is. I've had it for like 6 months now, and she's pretty well rooted in the medium that I have it in now. And these are my snake plants. I love my snake plants. They're super slow growing, and they don't need like that much water, and they look okay. Those I got from the nursery. A friend of mine gave them to me because the pot had broke and the piece busted off. So she gave them to me to plant in their own little pots. So I got some snake plants too. Sansevieria is the botanical name for those. But I like those snake plants. I think it's time for me to maybe rotate them again. Yeah, see how pale he is on this side? But how darker he is here? I gotta rotate these, because he's not getting the same amount of light like he should be. But, sorry, give me 1 second. I just want to get these rotated. Yeah, so you can kind of see where the leaves were overlapping right there. That's pretty sweet. I like that about that plant. That's pretty cool. So I let those sit pretty dry down here. Obviously succulents can go for a really long time without water. And then I just bought, my friend Kat was making terrariums for this festival out in Lewiston last weekend, and I bought one for my mom just to be nice. So it's a little cactus terrarium that's upstairs in the kitchen. But you know, like your cactus and your succulents, they should be in a south window, which is the brightest side of the house. It gets the most light during the year, because they really love the light. That's why those ones there are getting so light, because they're so far away from my light source, but I can't help it. And I don't have a lot of room. Like, this is legit like maybe 3, 4 feet of space that I've got all these plants in. So I don't have much room downstairs in the basement, but I make do with what I have. And I haven't bought any houseplants in a while. You know, you guys have been seeing my outdoor stuff because, you know, it's summer, so I want to be doing stuff in the yard and making it look nice for Mom. But I thought that this would be something to show you guys. It would be a little bit of a different video and all that stuff. I'm sorry it's running long, but this is what I did all winter. I took care of my babies in the house. I was never a houseplant person until last summer when I worked in the actual tropical greenhouse at the nursery I worked at. The friends I was working with, they really cultivated my passion for indoor plants too. Like, I hated indoor plants before, you know, when I first started working in the greenhouse. I just loved plants in general, but I never was the type of person that would be an indoor houseplant person. And now, well, here we go. Look at all these plants. There's so many plants down here. And this isn't even like half of what a couple of my other friends have that love plants too. This is just what I could manage in this little space. So, well, I think that's gonna be it. My orchids probably won't flower until or later this year, because orchids only flower once a year typically. So maybe I'll do an update video when that happens. But the last flower spike I had, it died on me, and I think it's because I used cold water to water it. But that's all I got in the basement, so I gotta make do with what I got. So, alright, well, that's the end of that. Stay green, folks.